Okay, this is Nick Bellafatto, and I'm speaking with current USBA welterweight champion Carson Jones of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ranked number 3 by the IBF, Carson sports a record of 34-8-2 with 24 knockouts. And come July 7th, this hungry fighter will be looking to trade in that USBA distinction for a title shot at the IBF world title by way of first going through undefeated Kell Brook on Kell's home turf of Sheffield, England. Carson, welcome, and thank you for sharing your time.
Thank you.
First of all, a report came out today that Golden Boy is working on matching up their fighter Devon Alexander with IBF champ Randall Bailey, whom many thought you would be next in line to fight pending the outcome of your bout with Brook. Do you feel slighted by this maneuver, or do you think that if this potential bout goes the way of Alexander, that Golden Boy and company might either try to avoid you or just basically go around you?
Well, I think everything happens for a reason. Initially, we did think that me and Kell Brook was going to be for the number 1 spot. It turned out to be for the number 2 spot. Then I found out today that Randall Bailey and Alexander were fighting. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. Reason being is you never know. If Alexander beat Randall Bailey, Alexander would pay a lot more fighting Alexander than it would fighting Randall Bailey. So I look at it as I see the cup is half full in that situation. So it doesn't bother me. I'm just gonna do my job on July 7th, and then we'll worry about the next fight after this.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of that, with that said, you have to deal with Kell Brook first, of course. How pumped are you for this fight? And tell us why it doesn't seem to faze you that you're fighting in a major event outside of the continental United States for the first time.
Yeah, well, of course, it's pretty much the biggest fight of my career. This is what I've worked for. I've been working for, and we're having, just because, this is the last step. I dream bigger than just Hector Brook. That's what motivates me. But it doesn't bother me going over there because I'm a man just like he's a man. When it comes down to it, it's just me and him in the ring. I don't care where the fight is. It could be in the bottom hell, and it's still just gonna be me and him fight. So that's pretty much what drives me, and I don't have any problems going to anybody's hometown. I've done it before, not overseas, of course, but I've gone to people's hometowns and done my job at soccer and came out with the victory. So I don't think this time is going to be different.
Okay, you stated that you make a living by knocking people out in their own backyards, and that Brook will be no exception. On the other hand, you have Brook saying he's going to do the same to you, while he referred to you as a quitter. Is it safe to say that this is a truly heated contest between you two?
Well, yeah, Brook is a bit of an idiot. I think he's confused as to what he's up against. Especially if he thinks I'm going to quit. I've never quit in my life. If I was a quitter, I have a loss. I would have quit a long time ago. So I think he's in over his head, and he's confused as to what he's up against.
I have to mention that I watched you two together at the press conference, and picking up on his body language, Kell definitely looked intimidated. Did you get that impression, and will you specifically look to exploit that once the bell rings on July 7th?
Yes, that was my plan to get in his head. I want him right. When you say he's right over, that's good. That's what I want. He's never had anybody in his face like that. He's never had a live dog in his face like this. And that's just a preview of what's to come on July 7th.
What other things have you and your trainer Abel Sanchez picked up on about Kell that you might be able to take advantage of?
Well, it's not necessarily what we picked on and what he does wrong. It's about what I do and what I do right. I'm gonna work. If it comes to 12 rounds, it's gonna go to 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm gonna make sure I beat on him for 12 rounds. If he can hang, then God bless him. I don't think he'll be able to.
The last time I spoke with you, I only threw Kell Brook's name out there as a possible future opponent, as Hector Saldivia looked to be the man with whom you would have to face off with. Do you prefer to have Brook in front of you at this juncture, being that he's a bigger name anyway?
Yeah, Brook will propel my career much more than Saldivia will. I might have to meet Saldivia next, but this is definitely put me in a better position than Saldivia would fighting him at this juncture.
So, are you saying you may have to face Saldivia before you actually get a shot at the winner of?
Yeah, the IBF actually ordered me and Kell Brook for the number 2 position, and the winner of me and Kell Brook will have to face Hector Saldivia after this.
Oh, I see.
Days, I believe.
That explains a lot. Okay. Does that kind of put you off, seeing how you were seemingly next in line to face the winner of Bailey?
No, it just means another fight and more money.
Okay. With Kell talking knockout, I really don't see him as having all that much power against upper echelon fighters, which he really hasn't fought anyway. The only recognizable names on his resume are Lovemore and Dew and Matthew Hatton, who are really B-level fighters at best, both of whom went the distance with Kell. Do you think his bravado is either intended to get you out of your game plan or that he's trying to get under your skin? And if he does come forward, do you consider that a mistake?
I consider it a huge mistake. That's not his game. His game is to stay on the outside. And even if he does that, it's not going to work against me because I'm going to walk him down. I'm going to put pressure on him. As you know, he fought Lovemore than Dew, which I believe that guy is 39 years old, national 140 pounder, and he had a little bit of trouble with him. Lovemore was catching him with some good shots that when I catch him with the same shots, he's not going to be able to hold up.
Okay. Again, Kell doesn't look to be a big puncher, but rather, like you said, he's a boxer that probably needs to stay on the outside. Even though you're with Abel Sanchez, who's helped to refine you into a more complete fighter, as opposed to maybe the straightforward come-at-you type slugger you once were, do you think it's best to just go at Brook and dispense with the subtleties, or do you feel that a more varied plan of attack might be necessary?
Well, I just do what I do. I don't change anything for a specific fighter. Of course, he's a boxing mover, so if he sticks to what he does best, it'll probably take a little bit longer. But what I'm gonna do is just pretty much walk him down and fight like I always fight. Break him down from round 1. When I start round 1, if I start doing what I need to do from round 1 and beating on his body and beating on his arms and he's pretty much breaking him down, he won't last long.
Okay. Being that the bout is not only in his home country, but it's in his hometown of Sheffield, do you feel that it's absolutely necessary to stop Brook within the distance, or do you feel that you might have to go out of your way to get the knockout?
Well, I don't see any point of changing ruining my knockout streak. So I think I'll go for I don't necessarily look for the knockout. It just comes, and I don't see any reason to change anything. We have neutral judges. Two of the judges are from here in the U.S. So I don't think, I'm hoping that, if it comes to a decision, I wouldn't get robbed, but you never know.
You said
to leave it in.
2 judges are from the U.S. Do you have names of the judges, actually?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Looking at your record and those 8 losses you've had in the past, to not the best opposition, some might feel that you're meat for Brook, who is undefeated. On the other hand, you're on a hot streak, stopping 9 out of 10 of your last opponents. Would you say those previous losses have prepared you for success at the next level, while maybe Kell's record is more indicative of him not being battle-tested?
Yeah, I've said before, you learn more when you lose than you do when you win. I fought the tough guys out there. Kell has fought, handpick opponents where he really couldn't learn. They weren't learning experiences. I I've learned the hard way. I got those 8 losses, and you know, I'm young, and that's what I think that's my benefit that I learned everything early. So now I'm speaking kind of like maybe a young seasoned veteran.
You know, let's see. Tell me why Carson Jones of today is not only going to get past Kell Brook, but eventually capture the IBF title.
Because this is what I want. I want it more than anybody else. I've had nothing given to me. I've worked my ass off for 10 years since I started boxing to get to this point, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me.
You know, again, I have to ask you, you're fighting in Kell's backyard at the Motor Point Arena, where there's sure to be a sellout crowd, some 13,000 boisterous British fans. Have you done anything out of the ordinary in training camp to prepare you for that type of atmosphere? And let me give you an example. Like Lucien Boutet, of course, had loudspeakers in his camp to mimic what he thought he might be exposed to when he fought Carl Froch. Any type of that stuff?
That just sounds stupid to me. I can't believe you did that, but no, I haven't. I don't do anything like that. I mean, I've been doing it too long to get nervous, to be worried about the crowd. Like I said before, it's just me and him. I'm not worried about the crowd. I'm not worried about anybody else but Kell Brook.
Right. So I mean, you've been training with Abel Sanchez, and you mentioned this before. He's taught you many things, but he's taught you not to worry about what your opponent's doing, rather to concentrate more on what Carson Jones is doing. So, assuming that's going to be the case when you fight Brook, does that mean you're not going to be looking to counter or try to feel him out, but you're just more intent on taking the fight to him?
I'm going to do what I do. That's all I'm saying. Whatever that may be. I mean, if I see opening to counter, I'm going to counter it. If I, I'm just going to use everything in my repertoire to beat Kell.
You do have a slight reach advantage. Is that something you might use to try to lure Kell in a bit, or?
Yeah, I plan on throwing a little bit more straight punches in the fight.
You spar with Gennady Golovkin most of the time. Did you spar with him in preparation for Brook, or who else did you bring in training camp for sparring purposes?
I got a couple guys here. Gennady's here, of course. He's always up there. He's getting ready to fight Emilio Perot. We got Abel Perry, a guy named Bruce Ron, Les Mob. We got a couple guys. Actually, one of the younger guys, Jose Benavides, just got here the other day. We worked with him. He's good because he has long arms and he moves. So we've been getting a lot of different looks. I've had a lot of good sparring.
Despite all the talk, Brook has definitely recognized you as a step up in competition, so he's going to try to bring his A game, being that this is a IBF title eliminator. Even though Randall Bailey or Devon Alexander should be waiting in the wings, but you still mentioned you have to go through Hector Saldivia. You commented on Amir Khan. What are your impressions of him, and how do you think he'll fare against Danny Garcia on July 14th?
I think Danny Garcia is a little bit too young right now. Not necessarily as young in age, but just young in experience. He just became champion. They should have, let him get a few wins under his belt. Let him get a few defenses first. We're going in there with Amir. I think Amir's gonna beat him pretty easily. I'm sure it'll be knockout or decision, but he'll beat him pretty easily.
Who do you favor in the Alexander and Bailey fight, and who would you prefer to fight when it came down to it?
Well, I guess I'll prefer to fight Bailey. I would have to go with Alexander, but if Bailey can land that monster that he has in that right hand, then anybody's gonna go down. So I give it to Devon, but I just didn't. I would share.
Okay. I believe your fight with Brook's going to be televised on Sky Sports. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
It is on Sky. Is any other network providers carrying the fight, to your knowledge?
No, not that I know of. I know Epic isn't. I'm not sure. I think you're talking about maybe ESPN3, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah, because they keep you in the background on these little channels. Or you think they're trying to hide Carson Jones somewhere? Or?
Man, for long, it's not going to be no hide. I've been sneaking up on everybody. For the past few years. I don't think it's going to be any hiding after this.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to have to tune in. There's another big fight going down there on the same day, the Donaire. Carson, I wish you the best of luck in crossing the pond there. But before we wrap up, what would you like to say to fight fans who will either tune in to watch you or those who support you?
I just thank everybody for the support, whether it be foreign or domestic. I just plan to put on a good show and come out with the victory on July 7th.
Okay, that's a wrap, man. I appreciate your time, man.